Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakalba from Plaintables Camp of Philly. All right, I got this video in two parts. First, the bridge collapse in Pittsburgh, I believe yesterday, 27th. This is put out the 28th. I think it was the day before. Yeah, I think they released it. I think it happened on the yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it happened yesterday. It had to happen 27th. No, this is 28th. So it happened Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Today is Saturday, January 29th. And this happened on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so this is a good video. It's the original video that was shared by the camp leader, Dabaq, I believe. And I have another video that's more up to date, and it's a little shorter, and it gives you, I think, some more detail. Same station. And just let that play. Mute the mic.
In that urgent effort to get to the people inside several vehicles in a public bus. That bus and 5 vehicles were crossing the bridge when it came down. They formed a human chain to get the passengers out. And tonight here, what we're learning about the timing, there were school delays because of the weather, typically a far busier bridge. ABC's Elwin Lopez on the scene in Pittsburgh.
Tonight, a terrifying morning commute in Pittsburgh.
A lot of screaming and static on the phone, stating the bridge fully gave out. Unknown injuries.
A bridge suddenly collapsing just before 7 a.m. with 5 cars and this bus plunging with it.
2 very loud booms woke us up 6:30, 6:45. The house shook a couple times.
First responders racing to the scene, forming a human chain, pulling people off that partially crushed bus. A driver and 2 passengers on board. Daryl Luciani was behind the wheel.
As I was driving across it, in my mind, I knew the bridge was collapsing. I could just feel it. The bus was bouncing and shaking. I was just happy that the bus finally come to a stop and everyone seemed to be okay.
Amazingly, no one was killed and just 10 people suffered minor injuries. Officials say it could have been a lot worse. Snow delayed schools for 2 hours and traffic was light at the time of the collapse. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation telling us 14,500 vehicles travel over the bridge daily. The overall condition of the 52-year-old structure was listed as poor during its last inspection in September.
I walked under it all the time and saw the rust and decay, and that's pretty typical in Pittsburgh.
The collapse came just hours before President Biden visited the city to highlight his $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure law. The president seeing the destruction firsthand, vowing to fix all the bridges, promising gigantic change.
We got to move. The next time, we don't need headlines saying that someone was killed when the next bridge collapsed.
And David, federal investigators with the NTSB have just arrived on the scene to help pinpoint the cause of the collapse. And David, officials have also run heavy equipment to remove the wreckage. That process could take several days. David?
We're just glad everyone survived this. Elwin Lopez in Pittsburgh. Thank you, Elwin.
So, Pittsburgh bridge collapse. And he spoke about the infrastructure bill, supposedly supposed to be improving things, which, if they actually start using it, it's going to take years anyway. Like, what, 10 years? 30 years? They've been expanding 95 in Philadelphia for the last, I think, probably 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. So, Isaiah 14:11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and worms cover thee. And that's just one part of how Babylon America is decaying. Just one part. That's the infrastructure. Amongst many decays, Ramah, which means as cause and sign of decay, rot and decompose through the action of bacteria or fungi. But it's referring to the, if you would look, at a city or a town or a landmass from space, the ground looks like it's alive. Right? It's moving, a bunch of moving parts, lights, and it's slowly decaying. It's slowly breaking down and decomposing. all right, into smaller parts. It's not working. So when a bridge collapses, that means the bridge isn't performing its function. It's breaking down. So that's what the worm is. All right. Figuratively. All right. Literally. All right. It's decaying. 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. All right. Oh, you look up the title. It says the time of the end. So these things are going to be happening in the last days, which we're in now. All right. Well, this is our salvation, to our resurrection of our ancestors and our people. All right. Our people are going to be receiving their judgment, and until you hear that, knowledge is going to increase. All right. So what's that? Faster internet connections, access to more information. All right. And cryptocurrencies, to prove that the cryptocurrency or digital currency, if you don't like the word crypto, you can use digital currency, is a serious thing. And there's theories out there, which I think are true, that the government's trying to devalue certain cryptocurrencies because they want to bring their own currency in. And you have other nations doing the same thing, trying to devalue the cryptocurrencies to bring their government digital currencies in. I believe, did China ban cryptocurrencies? I think so. And Russia, I think something's trying to do that too, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe China did ban cryptocurrencies. I looked it up. It said trading in cryptocurrencies has been banned in China since 2019. Because they're bringing in their own currency. All right, so this is the new system they want to bring in for currency. Let's play this. I didn't watch the video.
We've got some breaking news to share for you now regarding the Federal Reserve out with its long-awaited white paper just moments ago, laying out the pros and cons of a central bank digital currency. For more, let's go to Yahoo Finance's Jennifer Schoenberger. So, Jen, I'm wondering if Bitcoin has to worry about some new competition anytime soon from the Fed.
Hey there, Alexis. Yeah, that's right. The Federal Reserve out with its long-awaited paper detailing the pros and cons for a central bank digital currency. The Federal Reserve does not come to a conclusion on the digital dollar, but has a long list of benefits and risks. Among the pros for adopting a central bank digital currency, it would support faster and cheaper payments, including cross-border payments. It would expand consumer access to the financial system, particularly for lower income Americans, and would preserve the status of the US dollar as a global bank reserve currency. Now, on the risks side, banks rely a lot on deposits, and adopting a central bank digital currency would actually lower the amount of deposits at banks, and that could in turn increase the costs for banks, which could increase credit costs for households and businesses. A CBDC could also create runs for financial firms and make them more likely or more severe. And in the long term, the Fed could have to increase the size of its balance sheet to accommodate a central bank digital currency, just as it increases the size of physical currency. Now, if adopted, a central bank digital currency would, of course, need to protect consumer privacy while also guarding against money laundering and any other criminal.
See, they want to make sure every transaction is recorded and documented so they can tax you. It's all about money. Esau, Scripture say the love of money is the root of all evil. All right, Esau would do anything to get currency. All right, and really, it's really to make the average citizen weaker, because it's all fictitious. It's not even real. So it's really is to make you weaker. All right. There.
Of physical currency. Now, if adopted, a central bank digital currency would, of course, need to protect consumer privacy while also guarding against money laundering and any other criminal activity. And it would need to be a seamless transfer between parties. The Fed views this as less risky than other cryptocurrencies, private cryptocurrencies, I should say, and stablecoins, though, of course, Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell has said that the private sector stablecoins could exist with a central bank digital currency. The Fed is not committed to how it's actually going to execute this, whether it would use blockchain or it would have a ledger. Currently, paper money, the fiat currency, does not have a ledger. Also unclear about where those accounts would be housed.
You hear what she said? So that the ledger is the transaction recording, where it came from, where it gone, where it came from, where it's going.
Paper money, the fiat currency, does not have a ledger. Also unclear about where those or would have a ledger currency. The Fed is not committed to how it's actually going to execute this, whether it would use blockchain or it would have a ledger. Currently, paper money, the fiat currency, does not have a ledger.
They want to know every transaction that's produced, where it came from, where it's going, how much, and how much tax you owe on that. So it'll be a record of it. So it's all about money. All right. They want to know, so they can tax you.
Also unclear about where those accounts would be housed. The central bank does not house individual accounts right now. That's done by banks, so likely would include banks or intermediaries. At this point, the next step is for the Fed to put this out for comment. They will do so for about 120 days and gather everyone's responses. And if they do decide to move forward with a central bank digital currency, they would need authorization from Congress. Alexis?
There you go. All right, so it's real. So it's not a conspiracy theory that they are. The federal bank is moving in to digital currency. All right, and they don't want to use Bitcoin or Ripple. What do we typically bring out? That they're going to have a digital currency, and the accessing of the digital currency is going to be via a chip installed in your body. Revelation 19:20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive in the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So that's what's going to happen to you if you take that mark. All right, the mark of that digital currency, which it tells you in Revelation 13th chapter, 16th verse, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, charagma, and says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Yes. So this should be burnt into your head as a badge of servitude. State of being a slave or completely subject to someone more powerful. Alright. Carved, so it's going to be in your flesh. It says that you received it in your hands or in your forehead. Right. So it was installed. Right. And we just read the penalty. Alright, so better believe it's coming. The scriptures say that pray that we are kept from the hour of temptation. Alright. Let's see, go back to that right there. So they want to devalue these currencies to increase their currency, the Fed coin, whatever it's going to be called. All right, it's going to be gradual. but it's going to get there eventually. This digital currency. All right, and Great Millstone, we've been saying that we're the first Israelite group to preach about it and to stick to it, even though people were saying that we were crazy and like somebody said, IUIC, it's a chip is used to find your dog and all that. Like, all right, so what say you now? All right. So I hope you edified. Shalom to the next lesson.